Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Nessa, and for the past 2.5 years, I've been on a travel journey with my son Noah to find a new house. In November 2024, we've officially made the move to Kenya and found an apartment. We're starting to settle down, but unfortunately, the caretaker from the building I was living in broke into my apartment, so we are back to full-time travelers, and this year we decided to do the West African tour. The past few weeks, we have been to Senegal and Cote d'Ivoire, and it's now time for the number one country on my bucket list, Ghana. I spent 30 beautiful days there, although things didn't go as planned. This is what happened. She's back! Hey guys, this is Nissa. Welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while. Your girl was traveling and living her best life, but if you're watching this, I am back to Kenya. But today's video is not about Kenya. I will actually do a video about my experience in Ghana. I spent 30 days in Ghana and this is what happened. First of all, why didn't nobody tell me about Ghana? Ghana, Ghana, Ghana. Okay, as you can see, I have Ghana on my wrist now. I love Ghana so much, but I need to take you guys back to the beginning of the process, how I got to Ghana, because I almost didn't make it to Ghana. So if you guys don't know, as a tourist, if you're Canadian or American, you need a visa to go to Ghana, and the process, in my opinion, is very, very long. You actually need to send your passport to the embassy for them to put the visa on your passport. And I didn't have 2 weeks. I was in Cote d'Ivoire and I had about a few days to leave. Cote d'Ivoire was so expensive, I couldn't stay longer than 1 week in Cote d'Ivoire. So for me, I was gonna skip Ghana altogether, but God is so good because He sent somebody my way that was able to help me. So while I was in Cote d'Ivoire, I met that dude. He's from Ghana, and he told me that he works for the president, and he can send me a letter that will be give me the opportunity for me and my son to go to Ghana without having to have the visa prior to go to Ghana. So he did it for me. He sent me a letter for me, and I sent it for my son, and we were good to go to Ghana. So we received the letter, we booked the flight ticket, and 2 days after that, we arrived to Ghana. Again, now we fly to Ghana and we arrive at the airport. Oh, baby, listen, at this point, I've been to almost 30 countries in Africa. It's always so chaotic. Ghana came with the peace. As soon as you enter the airport, there's AC. There's AC at the airport, and everybody is so polite. Everybody's like, please, please, please. If you've ever been to Ghana, you know that Ghanaians are very polite and they will say please at the end of every single sentence. So as soon as I arrived to Ghana, I already know I was gonna have the time of my life and a good time. So like I said, as soon as I arrived to Ghana, I felt the peace that I needed. And if you guys didn't know, prior to that, 2 months before that, somebody broke into my apartment and I haven't been able to sleep, I haven't been able to eat. I was really sad, I was really anxious, stressed. But as soon as I got to Ghana, something special happened. I felt peace and I felt like I could start my healing journey in that country. So I was really excited about that. So one thing I really like about Ghana is as soon as you get out of the airport, you realize that everything is close by. So my accommodation was about like 15 minutes away from the airport, but every single major place in Accra, it's close to the airport. So that was really, really nice. And in the more wealthy places, I will say like the roads are really amazing, like there are no holes. But one thing that I noticed in Ghana is 1 second the roads are amazing, the next second there's holes everywhere. So the infrastructures is not as quite as good as Kenya, but it's way better than a lot of African countries that I've been to. So as soon as we land to Accra, we go to my accommodation that was 15 minutes away from the airport, and I'm gonna put a footage of the video for you guys to see how it looked. It was absolutely gorgeous. I think it was super spacious. I rented a 2-bedroom for 1 week in Accra, and it was amazing. There was 2 bedroom and 2 bathroom, really comfortable, and every single room they have AC because West Africa is extremely hot. Like I'm talking 35 degrees and up. Okay, you need to be ready for that. So we have AC in every room. It was really comfortable, and the neighbor was extremely safe. And one thing that I realized in Ghana really quickly that is really different from Kenya is they don't have as many securities in the houses that we do here in Kenya, but somehow I felt way safer in Ghana. So before I share my whole experience in Ghana, here are some tips if you're planning to go to Ghana. Take that from me, it's really going to help you make your vacation way easier. So first of all, here are a list of apps that I recommend that you have before you go to Ghana. So for transportation, they do have Uber, they also have Bolt, Yango, and I will say that, okay, like in Ghana, when you ask, depending on where you live, when you request, when you request a ride, be really patient. The ride is not coming right away. I had to wait sometime 20 minutes for my Uber to get to my house, but they will come. And that's one thing that I really miss about Kenya is if you request an Uber, that thing is in front of your house in 2-3 minutes. Do not expect that. That's not happening in Ghana. You're gonna have to wait. Like sometime I will just request my Uber, go take a shower, get ready, and by the time I was ready, the Uber will show up in my house. So again, a lot of patience, guys. I beg, be patient. This is just not the same system as the States, Canada, or even Kenya. Now, when it comes to how to pay in Ghana, you can pay cash. Obviously, you can have cash and pay cash. But the best way to do it, in my opinion, is by mobile, I think that's how they call it. And as somebody that is not from Ghana, you can use app like Sendwave, Remitly, Word Remit. They have a few other apps that you can use, and you take the information from the driver or the restaurant, and they receive the money right away. So I didn't have to draw any money in Ghana. All I did was that I used Sendwave to send money to everybody there, and it was really efficient and easy. Now, when it comes to food delivery, they have Bolt Eats, so you can go to the app Bolt Eats and you can order whatever you want, and they will deliver it to you. And you can you can pay with your credit card, debit, credit, or you can pay cash when they come to you, or you can also pay with Momo when they show up to the door. Another thing that I really like about Ghana is even if the option was not a Bolt Eat, I would just call the restaurant directly, tell them where I live, and they will dispatch a Bolt riders to come to me, and I will just have to pay the riders for delivery. So it was really easy for me to order food at any time of the day. I had jollof rice delivered to me at 2 a.m. very easily. So that's one thing that I really like, is that it's really easy to order food if you don't want to go out. And the last tip that I have for people that go to Ghana, I highly recommend that you take a line from a line in Ghana, because the reason is Uber and all of that. Even if you put the address on the app, they're always gonna call you to ask you where you are and where you're going. So if you don't have a way to call them, it's gonna be really difficult to you to have a ride or to communicate with other people. Now for the fun part, what did I do in Ghana for 30 days? Okay guys, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I did not record half of the thing that I did in Ghana. I was just enjoying life. I was living my best life. And honestly, I was just living in the moment. That's how good I felt in Ghana. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to record anybody, anything. I just wanted to be in the moment. Prior to be in Ghana, I had a whole list of things that I was planning to do in Ghana, and none of that happened. The only thing on that list that I did do is to go to Cape Coast. I did go to Cape Coast for 4 days. It was the highlights of my trip, and I'm gonna make a separate video for my Cape Coast trip, because that's actually the only thing that I actually recorded. So one thing that we did a lot, maybe a little too much, is eat. Now, nobody told me how good Ghanaian food is actually. I am so picky when it comes to food, but I gained so much weight in Ghana. Honestly, when it comes to even like foreigners restaurant, like international restaurant, they have it going on. Even Ghanaian food, amazing. Like everything about the food experience in Ghana was absolutely amazing. That's all I did. I ate like I never ate before in another country. No joke. All we did is eat, and eat some more. Again, I'm still talking about food. I mean, there's a burger joint that I don't remember the name. I think it was 880-20. Yo, that was the closest American burger that I ate in the whole continent. It was so good. It was really close to Five Guys. It was not quite the same thing, but it was close enough. So every single craving that I had from back to from Canada, I had to do it in Ghana. It was amazing. And another thing is my son and I discovered the best dessert place in the whole entire world. When I tell you that me and Noah, we went there every single day, not every day, but like at least 2-3 times a week, we ate the best lava cake ever. Like I cannot wait to go back to Ghana just to go back and eat that chocolate lava cake. It was so good. Oh, and if you have kids, and just like my son they love cars, they have a car restaurant there. Like it's so unique. Like you get to go eat, and everywhere they have parks, different type of old cars. They have a bus. You can go to the bus. They have AC in the bus, and you can eat at the bus. And then they have different type of cars. We went there a couple times with Noah, and actually the food is actually really incredible, and it's affordable for Ghana. Other than eating, it's really hard for me to tell you guys what I did because again, we were just existing. I was literally just with locals living my best life. We went by the beach. I went to a community football game when the whole city was there just cheering the football teams. It was so nice. I ate a lot of Ghanaian food, jollof rice, keke, bonku. I even learned how to cook. And I recorded a little bit of the process, but I didn't finish the process. But I will show you guys what I did. But I learned how to do jollof rice with some chicken. Honestly, we met the most incredible people in Ghana that was just willing to show us the way they live as locals. So we didn't really do like nothing really touristy except for Cape Coast. But for 30 days, I was just living, existing with my son. We got to do a lot of homeschooling. We got to go, again, a lot of beach. My son got to swim. It was really, really, really fun. But in terms of like touristic thing, we didn't do a lot of that. I honestly spent 30 days in Ghana and it felt like it was 1 week. That's why I know I love Ghana. And honestly, I was gonna be honest earlier. If I went to Ghana before I went to Kenya, my decision to relocate it to Kenya would have probably be different. Maybe. Because the cost of living in Ghana is way more than Kenya, and honestly, Kenya offers more for the price, if that makes sense. So talking about the cost of living, let's talk about it. I can only compare the cost of living compared to Kenya because this is where I live. But prior to being in Ghana, I was in Senegal and Cote d'Ivoire. Senegal was super pricey. I spent 2 weeks there. It was super expensive. Then I went to Cote d'Ivoire. Cote d'Ivoire was even more expensive than Senegal. So when I got to Ghana, I thought it was going to be the same experience at Cote d'Ivoire, and I realized that Ghana is way more affordable than Cote d'Ivoire, like way, way, way more affordable. So that makes me happy. Now, in terms of cost of living compared to Kenya, Ghana is more expensive than Kenya. When it comes to transportation, Uber will cost you like for $4 or $5 for like a 10 to 15 minute ride in Ghana. Compared to Kenya, it will cost you like maybe $2 or $3. So the difference, you see the difference in long term. Ghana is more expensive. When it comes to food and the food experience, honestly, if you go to a classy restaurant in Kenya versus a classy restaurant in Ghana, I didn't really see a difference in pricing. I felt like the price was about the same, around the same thing. Now, in terms of groceries are cheaper in Kenya than it is in Ghana. So Ghana is more expensive than Kenya, hands down, but it's less expensive than Cote d'Ivoire. Even when it comes to accommodation, like for like a week in Ghana, I will say I'd pay like $500 for accommodation, $500 to $600 for something nice, and then you will pay almost the same thing in Kenya, but probably less. I think like you can get away with $400 in Kenya for a week if you do Airbnb. So cost of living is definitely higher in Ghana, but the experience that you're gonna have in Ghana is well worth the money, in my opinion. Now, when it comes to the way I felt in Ghana, honestly, I cannot remember the last time I felt so good in the country. Ghana really did stole my heart. I went to Ghana at a time that I needed to heal, I needed to recover, I needed to sleep, and this is what Ghana gave me. Ghana has to be one of the most peaceful places I ever been to. You know, Bruno Boy always say that. but I didn't think it was true until I got there. And I knew it was gonna be peaceful, but as soon as I got to the airport, it's probably one of the best airports in Africa too. Like, it's really clean, they have AC, it's really organized, and you don't lose any time at the airport. It's really quick. Honestly, the difference that I saw in Ghana compared to other African countries was major. I can see Ghana being like one of the most developed country in the future. If they have good leaders, I can see that happen. As somebody that is Caribbean, I got to see a lot of similarities in Ghana versus in Haiti, but also like, because I've been to Jamaica so many times, I feel like Ghana and Jamaica are very, very, very similar. So I didn't feel like I was out of place in Ghana. I felt like I was home right away. Even when it comes to the cooking, I learned how to cook in Ghana. And honestly, when it comes to the seasoning, we pretty much use the same but different. You know, we cook the same but different. So it was really good to be in a place that I felt like I was like I was home. You know, I didn't feel like I was not from home. Now, I do not look Ghanaian, so everybody knew I wasn't Ghanaian, but I never felt like I was out of place. I felt like I was home. I even thought about moving there. I'm not gonna lie. Kenya traumatized me, and I was like ready to move to another country, and I was considering Ghana. But because Ghana is way more expensive, I will have to get my money up before I consider going there. But other than that, honestly, it's one of the friendliest places I've ever been to. The people are incredible. Everybody that I met were so kind to me, and I don't know how to explain it. Ghana was an experience I didn't expect was going to be like that. You know what, I'm mad. Because why nobody told me to go to Ghana? I have so many Ghanaian friends. Nobody told me to go to Ghana. Except for Gio. Shout out for Gio. Gio been telling me. But like, I feel like he didn't push it enough. Because the peace, well, I want to go back. I want to go back just for the peace that I felt there. And nobody's stressing Ghana. They're not stressed, but I'm gonna say that though. If you order some food, don't expect the food to come in 2 minutes, okay? They're gonna make you plantain. I don't know how they make the plantain, but you might wait for 30 to 40 minutes for the plantains. They're so laid back, nonchalant. It's actually crazy the way they live. In this, like, I don't know. You gotta go to Ghana to experience it, but it was really an incredible experience, and I really, really loved it. So here are my final impression in Ghana. So I spent 30 days in Ghana, and what I felt was peace. What I felt was healing. What I felt was protection. I didn't fear for my life. It was extremely safe. I felt safety. It was my first time in Ghana, but it won't be my last time, that's for sure. I really enjoyed my time in Ghana. And the only reason I left after 30 days is because I was only allowed to stay in the country for 30 days because I didn't have the proper visa. Because if it wasn't for that, I'd probably still be in Ghana. I'm just saying, okay? I really, really enjoyed it. I loved it. And actually, Ghana made me want to work harder so I can afford to move there one day. That's how much I love Ghana. Oh my God, I'm in Ghana. And mind you, I didn't do nothing in Ghana yet. I need to go back to really explore the country. Because this time, all I did, like I said, was existing. So next time I go, I really wanted to go see like the waterfalls. I want to go see different cities. The only other cities that I did was Cape Coast. Like I said, I'm going to do a separate videos when it comes to Cape Coast because that was a great experience. And I loved it a lot. And another thing that I really love about Ghana is how much they respect Haitians, and I feel like it's really rare now that people have that type of respect for Haiti. So I really appreciate that they recognize the history and they recognize who we are, and it made me feel even more at home when I was in Cape Coast. It was a very special experience for my son and I, and actually we're planning a trip to go back to Haiti so we can fully understand what happened there, because after being in Cape Town, you're gonna have to watch the Cape Coast video to understand what I'm saying. But we feel like we need to go back to where slavery ended, because we were where it was really special for me to be at the place where the slavery started, but slavery ended with us in Haiti, in Cap Haitien. So I want us to really go back there and make the correlation between the two. I want my son to experience that. So that being said, I recommend everybody to go to Ghana. Whether you're African, I think you should go visit Ghana. But also, like, I feel like every Caribbean and African Americans, Black Americans, I think it's important for us to go back to Africa, but specifically West Africa. And Ghana really gave me the vibe that I needed when it comes to what I was looking for. It was incredible. I recommend it to everybody. Like literally, go to Ghana. I will put Ghana on the map all the time. Ghana is by far my #1 country in Africa now. Like I don't think another country can beat that. I really have the best experience there, and I cannot wait to come back. So guys, to my Ghanaians that are watching the video, watch out because I'll be back. I'll be back sooner than you think. I'm already planning my next trip to Ghana, and I cannot wait to go back to my favorite country, my new favorite countries. So thank you so much for coming today. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned because we have a lot coming up in the next couple of weeks. I am back to filming, guys. I took a long break, but I'm back. Love you guys. Take care.